to The Insider. We're glad to meet you guys again. And our topic today is about our consumer make decision to the past purchase behavior. And let's watch our hidden camera with Nayas, who is Nana's cousins, who were surfing her Shopee to grab some great deal during the night of September.
Oh, today is the 9th of September. How can I forget it? It's a lot of promotion. Yeah, it's really cheap. I wanna buy this one, this one. This one is cheap too. Wow, it's amazing.
Well, as we can see here, Nayas has considered a lot before making decisions. Sometimes she would make some decisions with emotion, so there are some actions would contradict what those rational model predict. Our character, Nayas, who is living in today's information-rich environment, could be overwhelmed by a large number of choices. This situation, called hyper choice, is when a person has too much good things to choose. Hyper choice forces us to make repeated decisions that may drain psychological energy while decreasing our abilities to make smart ones.
Oh wait, let's check my purse. There's no enough money.
Nayas could be lacking money, and then she would move to a stage called self-regulation when she realized that she has to put efforts to change her shopping behaviors. And after that, she would make some plans called implementation intentions, which may detect how much weight she gives to different kinds of information, a timetable to carry out a decision, or how she will deal with effects that might interfere with her plans. For example, when there is a flash sale, she would exaggerate the negative aspect of behavior that will interfere with the ultimate goal, and she told herself that flash sale is not what she needs. That's called counteractive control. There are two types of motivation which could make Nayas' efforts to self-regulation get stronger or weaker over time. The first one is promotion motivation, encourages Nayas to focus on hopes and aspirations. The second one is prevention motivation, prompts Nayas to think about avoiding something negative.
Hey, so many. What should I do?
So, before our character Nayas decides to put a product, she has to make a lot of choices. And in all the process of buying, there will be 5 main steps, include Step 1. Problem recognitions. In problem recognitions is when Nayas experiences at a significant difference between her current state of affairs and some state we desire. But as a shopper like Nayas or somebody else, sometimes they will have more than one reason for them to decide to buy a product or service. For that reasons, we have need requisitions. Occurs when the need comes from within. That means the customer already has a need. Like this case, when Nayas has a need to buy something like clothes or cosmetics, she will buy it immediately. Otherwise, one more thing is opportunity recognitions occur when the need comes from outside, may be affected by parents, friends, product or service. For example, when Nayas is recommended by a friend for recently launched perfume bottle, she will be considered putting it in basket, and when necessary, she will buy it.
I should buy a new lipstick now. I'm gonna read some review on Google.
According to Step 2, researching information, is when we survey the environment for appropriate data to make a reasonable decision. So, when Nayas realized that she has chosen too many products and couldn't afford to pay, at which point she decided to research information to choose the product that the most suitable for her, a process called information search.
In this situation, Nayas made an online decision. Firstly, she used search engines, Google, which is the most common way for us to conduct information search today, because most of us are only likely to look at the first few results at the top of the list. Search engine optimization, or we can call SEO, is so important. Then, she browsed a cybermetary, which is a website or an app that helps to filter and organize online market information, so that customers can identify and evaluate alternatives. This one is moisturizing, but this one is long wearing. Which one is more suitable for me?
In Step 3, evaluate alternative, Nayas has to evaluate the best product in her choice to decide to buy them. In this process, there will be two main keys that can influence Naya's purchasing decisions. Evoke set. This is defined as the brands that come to a consumer's mind when a need for a product or service arises, and consideration set is one Naya seriously considers after thinking about the first product. But there's also psychological factor influence Naya's decision to buy something. Scientists call that process neuromarketing. Nerve senses will influence the purchasing Naya's decisions. For example, color. Sometimes bright color will make our eyes stimulate and we will tend to buy items by color we like.
And there's some more information about this step. When evaluating, Nayas or other consumers cognitively represent product information in a knowledge structure, which refers to a set of beliefs and the way we organize them in our minds. This structure is different depending on individual. Besides, there are four strategic implications of product categorization: position a product, identify competitors, create an exemplar product, or locate products in a store. And as you can see from Naya's situation, she tends to consider products from their evaluative criteria, which are the dimensions we use to track the merits of competing options. However, she focuses on some determinant attributes, which are the features we actually use to differentiate among our choices. For instance, a lipstick can have a lot of evaluative criteria such as packaging, creamy, price, and so on. However, some of these evaluative criteria become determinant attributes such as moisturizing or long wearing. It depends on the consumer. After evaluating, consumers are ready to make a decision from some decision rules. They may use compensatory rule, which allows a product to make up for its shortcomings on one dimension by excelling on another. And there are two basic types of compensatory rules: simple additive rule or weighted additive rule. However, we usually make habitual or emotional decisions, and at that time, we typically use a non-compensatory rule. Now, let's see which rules Nayes used to make her decision. I guess the moisturizing one is better. I'll choose it.
Oh wow! In this situation, Nayes used weighted additive rule. Then she moved to step 4. Once Nayes assembles and evaluates the relevant options in this category, she has to choose one. And all this process called product choices. And finally, we have the last step in the process. Post-purchase evaluate occurs when we experience the product or service we select and decide whether it meets or maybe even exceed our expectations. And here, Nayes will rate the purchased product and surveys to the start in the comment sections about her satisfaction using the product.
Yay! Waiting for my cute lipstick. I'll rate 5 stars. Is it okay, Anna?
There will be some products that Nayes doesn't know she has already put in her cart. This situation called habitual decision making describes the choices we make with little or no conscious effort. When it comes to some complex situation, a heuristic is a mental shortcut that allows Nayes to solve problems and make judgment quickly and efficiently. So let's take a quick look at the most prevalent heuristic we usually use. When Nayes only has incomplete product information, she could base her judgment on her belief about correlation, her associations among events that may or may not actually influence one another.
Oh, this looks nice.
The country of origin occurs when Nayes strongly associates certain items with specific countries. For example, American beef to Nayes has the best quality.
Oh, I knew this brand.
When Nayes saw a familiar brand name, she would pick the product of that brand instead of others.
It's so expensive. I think it's real good.
Nayes assumes that a higher price alternative is better quality than a lower one. As the AI intelligence grows up, it can help Nayes to decide what to buy. For example, KFC China develops AI-enabled facial recognition checkouts. It predicts what menu items Nayes will order based upon her age, gender, and mood.
Well, A situational influence include on those factors particular to time and place that do not follow from knowledge of stable attributes of consumer and stimulus that have an effect on current behavior. Consumer often behave very differently depending on the situation, and the consumer situation include the buyer, the seller, and the products or service, and also many other factors like mood of the consumer, if they're along or not, hurry or not, and how they're gonna use the product.
Why everything all go wrong today?
Our mood even change during the day, so at different times we might be more or less interested in what the marketers offer. A technique called the day reconstruction method to track these changes. People's mood increase gradually throughout the day and is punctuated by occasional anxiety, anger, and frustration. And by far the two factors that most upset daily moods were poor night's sleep and work deadline. In addition, another reason to take the environmental situation seriously is that a person's self-image, the role he or she wants to play at one time, help to determine what they want to buy or consume, and the difference between now on the date and when she hangs out with friends is inseparable.
No, I just eat some salad. 1, 2, 3, cheers! Oh, I wanna order this one, and this one too. I love chicken.
Consumers also make different purchase decisions depending on how they plan to use it, or we call the usage of the product, and a consumer's physically or social environment affect his or her motive to use the product.
This one is suitable for me. This one is not.
We talk about making time and spending time, and we frequently remind others that time is money, and also time plays an important role in decision making, and it is an economical variable. And like the difference when we have time to buy a gift and when we choose the last minute gift, people priority determine his or her time style. And also, many consumers believe that they are more pressed for time than ever before, and it is labeled as the feelings of time poverty. And we simply have more options to spend our time, and we feel pressured by its weight. Time flies when you're having fun. Our experience of time is subjective and determine how quickly the time flies. It is important for marketers to understand the psychological times because we are more likely to be in a consuming mood at certain time than we are at other. And here's 5 perspectives. Time is a pressure cooker, a map, a mirror, a river, and time is a field. It is important factors in querying theory too. Our experience when we have to wait has a big effect on our evaluations of what we get at the end of the wait.
Wow, lucky.
Do you think Daya is lucky? The answer is no. This is not a matter of luck. This is because the managers has used design thinking. Design thinking emphasizes the importance of creating products, services, and stores that aren't just pretty. Instead, they have to make sense in terms of how consumers actually live their lives and use the things. The customer journey, which is one upshot of the design thinking revolution, refers to the recognition that managers need to step out the little boxes and actually cross over to the consumer perspective to understand their products from the buyer's perspective. The journey spans a variety of touchpoints by which the consumer moves from awareness to engagement and purchase. To have companies achieve more insight, researchers go to the chamber, which to the Japanese means the one true source of information. In that situation, the managers have used this method to understand that consumers have usually get lost in the spacious mall, so they put the digital maps in places that can be clearly noticed.
Wow, this mode is really nice. It's not only structurally attractive but also has good services. I'm really excited.
Two basic dimensions, pleasures and arousal, determines whether we will react positively or negatively to a consumption environment. In this case, Naya's is both arousing and pleasant, so she is exciting. When we are in good mood, we process ads with less elaborations, we pay less attention to the specifics of the message and rely more on the heuristic. What did she think when going into the accessory shop, knowing that she can't afford to buy any item there? It is because her shopping motivation is stated. Let me explain this. Shopping is an activity that we can perform for either utilitarian, functional or tangible, or hedonic, pleasurable or intangible reasons. Hedonic shopping motives include the following. Firstly, social experience. The shopping center or department store replaces the traditional town square or county fair as a community gathering place. Many people, especially in suburban or rural areas, have almost no other places to spend their leisure time. Secondly, sharing a common interest. Stores frequently offer specialized goods that allow people with shared interests to communicate. Another one which in this situation is status. As every salesperson knows, many people savor the experience of being waited on, even though they may not necessarily buy anything. When a team of researchers conduct interviews with women to understand what makes shopping a pleasurable experience, they found one motivations were role-playing. Additionally, the thrill of the hunt. Many people pride themselves on their knowledge of the marketplace. They may love to haggle and bargain, and even view this process as a sport. And lastly, group pressure. We shop differently when we are part of a group. People are buying a lot of stuff online these days. This aspect of the transaction provides value over and above of what you actually buy. It is a debatable issue whether e-commerce will replace the traditional reselling, work inconsolably, or perhaps even fade away to become another fad your kids will laugh about some. In the past few years, we have seen a firestorm of activity to promote various kinds of virtual currency and encourage consumers to switch from cash and credit into digital wallets, which are electronic devices that allow an individual to make e-commerce transactions. A lot of this activity is propelled by the spread of near-field communications (NFC) technology that allows devices near to one another, like a smartphone and an NFC terminal in a store, to establish radio communications. In addition, P2P, peer-to-peer payment systems such as Google Pay, Send, PayPal, and Venmo empower ordinary citizens to transact business with one another. This is a corner of the sharing economy that allows consumers to give and receive payments for products and services.
Oh, I've been in Starbucks the whole morning.
Oh, Starbucks. Let me tell you something related to Starbucks now, yes. I want to mention retail theming. It is a strategy that many stores try to create imaginative environment. There are 4 basic kinds of theming technique: landscape theme, marketscape theme, cyberspace theme, and marscape themes. One popular theming strategy is to convert a store into a being space where we can go to relax and escape the everyday busy. When thinking of being space, Starbucks probably comes to mind. Their goal is to become our third place with comfy chairs and Wi-Fi, where we spend the bulk of our time in addition to home and work.
Wow, this store really impressive.
Ah, that's every pop-up store. Do you know what pop-up stores are? They are the temporary installations that do business for only few days or weeks and then disappear before they get old. As I know, every has pop-up store in Paris, London, Japan, and so on. Each store has its own store image. Some factors shape the store image are location, merchandise, suitability, and the knowledge and congeniality of the sales staff. They work together to create an overall impression. And belonging to store image, there is a term of atmospherics. It is the conscious designing of space and various dimensions to evoke certain effects in buyer. These dimensions include color, sense, and sound. To boost the entertainment value of shopping, some retailers create activity stores that let the consumer join in the production of the products they buy there.
Ah, I've been to Kit Kat chocolate tree once.
Yes, the Kit Kat chocolate tree is an example of activity store. Here, Kit Kat devotees and chocolate lovers can design their own personalized Kit Kat using the Store My Kit Kat program. In Kit Kat, did you make any in-store decision? I guess you did, because there are some tricks of the trade applied in a store environment to make customers pay for unplanned purchase. such as sales width at eye level, midway along aisles, or sprinkle the sale product throughout the store, rather than grouping it in one spot. Unplanned buying is a kind of spontaneous buying. That means when you see an item on the store shelf, this might be a reminder that you need it. And impulse buying means that when you experience a certain urge, you tend to buy goods without planning. Retailers typically place so-called impulse items such as candy and gum near the checkout to cater to this urge. This salesperson is one of the most important players in retailing trauma. Some factors that help to define a salesperson's role and effectiveness are his or her age, appearance, educational level, and motivation to sell. In addition, the effective salesperson usually knows their customer traits and preferences very well, and they adapt their approach to meet the needs of each specific customer.
In consumer behavior, these feelings of not yes are referred to as consumer satisfaction and dissatisfaction. It implies that we evaluate the things we buy and we use them and iterate them into our daily consumption habit. Let's be more in depth. This effect is known as expectancy disconfirmation model. When yes delighted with a product that the firm has exceeded her expectation, and on the other hand, if it's fall short expectation, unpleasant sentiment may arise. And the life feeling of yes is that when something worthy is better, yes may not think much about it, and so therefore managing expectation is very important. Now it's time for Nayas to move on to the product disposal stage, current issue related matter of what we do with our things when we're done with them. And according to me, Nayas should divide this item into two sections. The first cover objects that are manufactured for easy disposal, such as self-decompose to protect the environment, and Nayas can choose the option discard for the first section. And the second includes the product to which Nayas does from strong attachment are the products that the manufacturer rewards consumers for recycling or that can be recycled and used again, also at a flea market. Let's concentrate on flea market. In general, it's an underground economy that has been increasingly popular in recent years as a result of issues such as environmental concern and quality demands. Besides that, we are witnessing the rise of sharing economy, which firms like Airbnb, Omni, and this business model, people rent what they need rather than buying it. However, the sharing economy is popular not just because of its simplicity of use, but also because of a shift in attitude toward ownership.
And it's worth no hidden camera left. So see you next week. We are the Insider, and don't forget to click the subscribe button so you can catch up with our latest video.